Good morning. It's May 18th. It's Monday. I planned this video yesterday, the early afternoon. I planned on making it on Wednesday or whatever, but decided to completely abandon the upload schedule and upload these whenever the heck I want. So there might be like 5 videos this week and then no videos for 2 years, and that's fine. Probably not. I'll probably keep uploading. I'm having too much fun, which is not showing on my face. Not emotionally feeling that right now. I'm exhausted. The coffee isn't working. The nicotine isn't working. So this is a perfect time to make a philosophy video. We're talking about philosophy, and I'm a grumpy old man. So I decided, we're not going to just do science. We're going to do philosophy. We're going to do depth psychology. How about that? The next video, I don't know if it's going to be science or psychology or more philosophy. I don't know if it's going to be uploaded tomorrow, or I'll try to upload it by Wednesday. So it's one of the next 2 days. Is this interesting? It's interesting. So, I wanted to start with ideas that came to me. Not really ideas I had, but ideas that were given to me, it felt like. So we're going to be talking about good and evil. We're going to be talking about Kabbalah. So that's what we're talking about. I have my hair up because I don't put my hair up when I want to look like a girl. I don't care what Devin says. I don't want to look like a girl. It's just a different style, and I don't know, it just felt right. Because my hair's never been this long. It's very, very long. Looks good, I think. I like it. And it's just going to keep growing because I took the Nazarite vow, so completely screwed if I wanted to get shorter at the moment. Because I'm wound up or already having trouble speaking. That's good. I have a notebook that has my name on it. I got for Christmas. My mother got it for me. Thank you, Mom. Now, let us begin. This book belongs to me. My middle name is Nicholas. Philosophy. It's very rustic looking paper. This is fantastic. We're going to start with this idea, which I actually came up in one of the science videos. It's a horseshoe. And up here we have good. Let me make sure. Yeah. Up here we have good. And down here we have where most men live. And then up here we have evil. And then God is above. So I did write where most men are. Most women, as far as I can tell, have kind of a tendency to drift towards good. If you got very puffed up and arrogant when I said that, and you thought I'm the best, you're a woman, you're part of the problem. It's called pride. And I'm not talking about you. But most women generally have a tendency to drift towards good. And men can be directed that way too. It's just that, I don't know, I just find that most men kind of live in this weird liminal space. And I would like to see that actualized, It's kind of weird to see a 40-year-old who's still in that place. But anyways, I took some notes. God is beyond good and evil. Yes, I like women better than men, but there are select men I really like. If you're watching this, you're probably one of them at this point. Cool guys. So, God is beyond good and evil. So, Nietzsche's issue. I don't know why I'm scratching my neck. Is it itchy? Is it itchy? Is that why I'm scratching it? This is why we're going to get into depth psychology, because it's fascinating, and I love Carl Jung. We'll start with MBTI stuff, so it's accessible, and then we'll get into visions of World War II, and it's going to be fun. Anyway, Nietzsche's problem of good and evil being constructs, and nothing being real, would just be solved by God. But he wanted to proclaim the death of God, and I don't, for the life of me, understand why he would want to proclaim that, but he just felt that he needed to. He was compelled by some higher force. But I guess you could argue about what that higher force really is. It's fair. I don't know, man. I love his idea of the Superman. It's very inspiring to me. You know, someone who transcends all constructed values and lives according to what he knows in his soul is right for him. I just don't think you can do that without God. That's just my personal opinion, I suppose, but I just don't think that's possible without God. So the idea of Zarathustra as a prophet of the future age, or the Messiah of the godless world, I don't think anyone gets as far as Zarathustra got without a relationship with God. I just don't. And Zarathustra was 30 when he came into his own, just like Jesus. And there are other figures. The age of 30 seems to be very significant, in sort of like a coming into one's own sort of way, and finally realizing the long-awaited and toiled-for destiny. I'm trying to beat that. We'll see what happens. It's up to God. It's not up to me. But that's another thing, you know, because I've studied spirituality and spiritual matters as well, and it seems like, well, the best glimpse we can get of the afterlife, as long as we're human, is we can talk to people who've had near-death experiences, as I touched on in the last video. And such people often meet possibly God or possibly angels. Sometimes they go to hell, but often they're saved from hell, which is very interesting too. So we'll touch on that in a moment. Hang on, I want to finish this thought. So, from what I can tell, often it's that the soul of the person, which is a kind of a fragment of God. So sometimes people die and they'll say, well, we're all God. Well, that's not true, but it is true. They're both true. Both of those stances are true. It's true and it isn't true. Souls are elements of God. They're fragments of the divine. They're not fragments like they're like God shattered, but like yeah. Yeah. Christianity is not true good or real evil. It's an interesting thought, and this goes back to what Nietzsche talked about. Nietzsche hated Christianity. And of course, he was German. He's German, so he would have been talking about Catholicism. And hate's a strong word, but I think we could get together and get along over that. I have a strong disdain for Catholicism. I was raised in a Catholic, not really, vestigially Catholic family. We went to church when Nana made us. My father is a very spiritually adept man, and explored Buddhism and different forms of Christianity, and now I hope we'll be exploring some Judaism. He was interested, but I didn't want to go to shul that week. I don't know why, so I just didn't take him. But to each his own. On that note, there are many truly good Christians who I absolutely adore. So how can Christianity be not true good or real evil if they're really, truly good Christians? I didn't think about it. I asked the question yesterday when I was planning the video, and I didn't think about it. I guess I wanted to think about it on camera. Well, the institution of the Catholic Church is a money laundering scheme. And it has burned Jews at the stake, and it has forcefully converted scores. I don't know the exact figure. And most recently and prominently, it has been rampant with abuse of boys and young men. There's no, across the world, it's girls and women who are victims of abuse, but the Catholic Church seems to have found a way to make boys and men the victims of abuse. I don't know how. I don't know why. I don't know why that would happen. I do need the bathroom. This is not a put on super bass and go to the bathroom video. I'm gonna just cap cut it, but let me finish this. So the Catholic Church as an institution is clearly not a blessed institution. However, there are men who find God, and they find Him through Christ. I'm not denying that. I'm not going to gaslight you. It's just I find that alien personally, but you probably find me alien. So just fucking have a party. Figure their differences and have a party, because we all love God, and God clearly loves us. So, so you have to separate out, the one from the many. You have to say, well, the institution that this person is a part of may be corrupt, but the person themselves who believes in the values that the institution would claim to believe in, if under a water gun, the institution might be corrupt, but the person within the institution are not willing to secede, as many do. Martin Luther. May disdain evil and choose good. I don't know. If you haven't figured it out, I like people to choose good. And there's no limit to what a group of people who have chosen good, no matter how seemingly small, can do for the world. Because when you've chosen one or the other, but when you've chosen good, you can see more of reality. You can just see more of reality. Period. You just can. It's a gift or whatever. But if you've chosen real evil, well, I don't know what that's like, because I haven't, and I won't ever. But I imagine you can kind of also see more of reality, because you've chosen a mode of being, and you're sticking to it, and you're learning intuitively based on that mode of being that you've chosen. Anyways, I do need the bathroom, and I just realized there's a pause button, so I can just pause this. I don't have to cut it. Bye. So I think there are some souls who are they live a single life and then they perish. I think that the chronically atheistic are probably in that camp. Because there's no relationship with God. There's nothing. And without that, and the soul is bound to perish. It just is. So, yeah. I want to take some notes on the soul, because I have a very interesting idea where, a soul could be represented by a circle, I suppose. Reality is not a mirror. But it is tailored to each soul's individual needs. To each soul's within a given incarnation. Whether that incarnation is, incarnation, I suppose, applies to Earth. But within, because an incarnation can be infinite, can be above time, can be in a saved world that lasts forever, and can also be within time in a world that isn't quite decided yet, which, as far as I can tell, Earth isn't quite decided yet. Whether good or evil will triumph, whether we'll rise with 66% of the angels or fall with 33% of the angels as a species. So, yeah. It's not an appropriate so yeah. It's not so yeah. These are huge ideas here. Respect to good and evil. It's very important that good fights. Take a look at World War II. Well, what happens when God's children are disobedient and sinful? God is above good and evil. He created good to be like him and evil to be not like him, but then how much harsher is he going to be when good, what's supposed to be good, screws up? That can happen. You have to be very careful. And it's very uncomfortable, I understand. That's true. So, good must fight to win. You can leave Earth to die, I guess, but that's not good, is it? No, it's not. And good doesn't necessarily look like a single race or creed or religion, or way of thinking or way of being or set of morals. Those days, as far as I can tell, are over. And any attempt to resurrect them winds up being fascistic and not in a good way, and just evil. It winds up being evil if you start looking at a group of people based on race or whatever as the problem. That always basically winds up being evil. That didn't used to be the case, as far as I can tell. But the world changes. It does. So, roll with the changes or perish. I think that both evolution and the story of the Garden of Eden can be true. Right? Like, there are Bible literalists. But I'm also not that sounds like a setup to take them down. Not really. I think it is literally metaphorically true. Literally. It's too true to say it's just a metaphor. It's too true to say it's just a metaphor. It's not just a metaphor. That particular story. It's like, I mean, the Bible, that's funny, it's like Bible literalists. Well, there are legitimate, historical accounts in the Bible. There are also Moses's, metaphors of creation. So Bible literalists. Like, you don't read, you don't know what you're talking about. Just be quiet. We're only 20 minutes in. I only have, but we already touched on the soul, so obviously this can go other places if we need. We probably do, because we're only 20 minutes in, and I've gone through all my notes on good and evil. Sometimes if I pretend I'm talking to Kobe, I can keep talking because of the level of conversation that Kobe and I can have. So I don't know where he is. I'm talking consistently with multiple people suddenly. I was alone for... I'm making this a vlog too. I was alone for... I didn't talk to anyone. Completely alone for... 2.5 years? A little more? Just didn't talk to anybody. And that was due to a variety of factors. Sometimes people would try to talk to me and I would reject them, and vice versa. And eventually I just thought, well, I must need to be alone if this is what God's putting me through. I just need to be alone. And I did. But then, I wasn't really quite ready. I wasn't quite ready. It's wonderful to have friends again. I love it. And, yeah, that's all I'll say. I think there are certain conversations that would be great to talk about, but I would need kind of consent to talk about them, just because of how deep and far-reaching they are. But I suppose we can talk about government. Because didn't we talk about government in one of these? Oh, I forget. But good and evil. The amount of people who think that Republicans are good and Democrats are evil, or Democrats are good and Republicans are evil, is far more than I want to deal with. And it's so frustrating. It's like I have to parent scores upon scores of people who are 30 years older than me. I can hear them. But he said that he's a liberal. You don't even know what liberal is. You're both guilty. If you're like I bleed blue, or like fly American flags from the back of my pickup. Well, some of you are cool, but But like, if you're like, I've like Republican for life, and like, you're both guilty. This is one thing. How do I explain this? Democrats and Republicans, the Democratic, it's like a duopoly. Like, you're both selling the same shit. And you might be competing or whatever, but you're selling the same shit, and it's shit. It's bullshit. There has never been more of a need for an absolute revolution in this country, ever. Who's here? Somebody's driving up the driveway. Who's here? Who wants it? Bring out my inner Republican dad right now. I had a shotgun, bitch. No, I don't, but pretend I do. I don't know, maybe I'm hearing things. No, I'm not hearing things. There's definitely a car, but whatever. Yeah, so that's where I stand. I'm not a part of this country. I'm not an island now. I have friends and people. I don't claim any part of it. Either side. I suppose that's important to say. I don't like the whole I don't like identifying as part of a group, period. I'm Jewish because I have a relationship with God, and I believe that my soul desires that as a framework and identity. And I don't know, it's just who I am, I suppose. And I have too many secrets, and I tell them at the right time so that they aren't heard by the wrong people. Somebody's here. What the fuck is that noise? Maybe it's next door. Safety. Necessary. Human right. Can be and is perverted. Not like safety is perverted. Maybe like safety or perv. No, not like that. It can be twisted and used to manipulate people. So that everything's about safety, but then it's more like, no, safety is code for social control. It's true. Between that statement and looking out the window like a madman, I'm looking really paranoid right now. Then I get paranoid about looking paranoid. So this is gonna be a fun few minutes here. I don't know. I think I have every right to be paranoid. I don't think it's a problem. I don't know if one of the main things I'm paranoid about is people thinking or knowing I'm paranoid. That's not really paranoia, is it? The threat of being cast into a system that cares nothing about the human being, cares about boxing in the human being, and calling them sick or crazy. Well, that's not very good, is it? It's not a good system. It's a bad system that doesn't value the human being. That's an evil system. Evil does not care about the soul, the individual, or the experiences of the person. It's an evil government. And it's difficult. I'm not saying it's not difficult to successfully govern 365 million people. Thank God we're not born in China. I mean, that's just, everyone there is an agent. Or maybe not. No, shouldn't say that. Shouldn't say that, but correct. We don't want that to be the case. We want to help. But it's very difficult. Israel in ancient times was at times a very successful kingdom. You know how many people were there? Less than there are in my state. Like 1 million people. So it's pretty easy to run a successful kingdom with 1 million people. That's easy. Dozens of rock stars who I've never heard of do that successfully. It's not hard. We face a significant challenge just based on the amount of people there are to govern. There's no denying that. And my deepest compassion for the ruling people who are trying to do good. They're not all evil. We should just kill all those people. Because I'm joking, kind of. I am joking. The less killing, the better. But you know what I mean. We should destroy those people, so they don't speak and get in our fucking way. But the good people who are trying to govern society, like, that's where my deepest compassion comes from. Is the amount of people, and now, well, the amount of information, but that's getting much easier with AI, which can consolidate and synthesize information and make it easy for us to do something with. Yeah, there's so many good people who devote their lives to ruling in one way or another, whether they're, they go to town, they join the town board or whatever, town government, it's a tiny town, or they're, we haven't had one in a little while, going for the presidency. Obama, I'm looking at you. And it's difficult work, but yeah, I do difficult work. You just do it. But what am I trying to say? I've never really thought about this before. This is fascinating. The rule books changed so quickly. And we have to band together. Not as one, with a hierarchy. And fight for the same cause. The idea that there's no hierarchy is horrid. That leads to a reactionary fascism, I'm certain of it. I'm certain that's what we're seeing. What's it called? Equality of outcome? A horrible idea. Works on paper. Paper is two-dimensional, essentially. It doesn't work. All right, let's move on. Kabbalah. I don't know that one. Why is it spelled with a Q sometimes? Kabbalah is a system of Jewish mysticism. at various times in my life, I've seemed to intuit or download or be given, that's most accurate, knowledge of it, without knowing it prior at all. Like at all. Like it's not like a memory-based intuition at all. It's very interesting. Hang on. I should take a break for a minute, right? Let's talk about the weather or something. I'm a big walker. I walk. Bring it back to Nietzsche. Great ideas are often formed while walking. He said all great ideas. I don't think it's all great ideas, but many great ideas are formed by walking. And I always walk so much in winter. Indoors usually. I go to the psychiatric hospital in Belmont. It's called McLean. I've stayed there a few times. For various reasons. I don't think I'm sick. Like, society's sick. I don't want to get into that in this video, but I go there sometimes just to walk. Quite often in the winter. There's a system of tunnels that's for American standards, ancient. It's beautiful to walk through. I walk a ton in the winters. And I walk a lot in spring, up until about now. And I'm just starting to get this. I always think, well, the weather's about to get so beautiful, it's going to be so warm, I'm going to walk so much. But then it's nice to just exist when the weather's really warm. So I just kind of like, I don't lounge around, but I don't feel the need to walk when it gets this warm as much. Which is always kind of a letdown. But then it's not, because it's like, I'm so happy because it's warm and I feel good. This is a work uniform. I'm not wearing this for show. I've earned this jacket and I've earned these epaulets. The system doesn't work. Like, I tried like promoting like normal artists. I'm not normal artist, so why the fuck would that work? Alright, so hence the epaulets. By the way, who's this somber guy taking my epaulets idea, dude? Like 12 to 12's a good song, but like, nah, man, come on. Kabbalah, this is central to Kabbalah. I probably drew it wrong, but it's alright. This is a tree of life. It's composed of 10, 11 Sephirah. And I wasn't planning on doing a video today. I don't know, I just felt like it. Fuck the schedule. It's nonsense. And they're different aspects of creation, essentially. I want to touch on this is sometimes shown and sometimes not. Sephirah here, kind of. It's called Da'at. Now, I've hypothesized that the tree of good and evil is found in Da'at. And that Da'at is kind of a portal to the Klippot. Klippot? I don't know how to say it. But basically the hell realm tree. The hell tree. The tree of hell. I didn't read any of that. That's another one that kind of came to me recently. But I'm on probation, so I'm taking my meds like a good boy. So nothing really feels that immediate, and I don't know. I can't explain it, but usually I'll get the download or the given knowledge when I'm not taking my medication. The amount of things that I've learned while not on medication, while being called crazy to some extent or another, that wound up being true in some very real sense, is very high. And the amount of things that are crazy, well, I have my own ideas about them too. So I don't believe I'm sick. And I feel like now that frightens me less and perhaps should frighten the system more. Getting back to the video. I think there might be a tree of life in every soul. I think that it I don't know how to proceed with that. It's just kind of a feeling. So I was in my grandmother's basement. Yeah, this is fun. And I was staying there because I was driving my parents insane. I was what you would call manic. And I just must have been up at 4 a.m. I'd been up all night, just kind of taking in information as it came. And I had this kind of command feeling. The kind of thing you get a shot in the hip for if you talk about it in the hospital. And the command feeling, or whatever it was, bring light to Malkut, which is the bottom Sephiro here. I'll show this one. This down here is Malkut. So bring light to that which is in darkness, essentially. And you could say that the light, I suppose, would be up here. Would be from up here, anyway. So bring light from here to here. And there was no indication, or the feeling was that it was directly from here to here. Well, if you draw a through line, which I will, from Keter, which is way at the top, all the way down directly to Malkut. You must pass through Da'at, which is not advisable to someone who, I don't know, hasn't been commissioned to do such a thing. And it's going to be very dangerous to me anyway, even though I have been commissioned to do such a thing. And you can shoot me with as many meds as you want. When you get your hands off me, that's going to be the case. So passing through here is very dangerous. Then if you continue the through line, you're going to pass through these two. I forget what they're called. Good time to look that up. I was more concerned with, much more concerned with, the passage through death. I mean, it sounds like death. Da'at, knowledge, good and evil. Sephiro, tree, names, and aspects. ChatGPT is working normally now. It's typing at a normal speed. It's lovely. Yes, it's 10 Sephiro. So can I see it on a map though, please? Pillars. Oh, they're pillars as well. I just want to see a map. Map. Oh. Allergies are coming. Yeah, so here we go. Wait a minute, I thought, but I drew the tree wrong. Dang it. It's not. No, I didn't. ChatGPT drew the tree wrong. ChatGPT just drew the tree wrong. That's fucking funny. Alright. So we got Tiferet, which is the one in the center here. Tiferet. And the Yesod. So I'll assume that this tree is the one I'm meant to see right now. So Tiferet represents harmony. Yesod represents foundation. So that would mean this is dot on this tree doesn't look very scary, but it's dangerous. It is. I'm not going to be gaslit about that. It is. Harmony and foundation. So you pass from Keter, which is what's that represented by a crown. Okay, with the light or the spiritual way up here. So you're going to pass through dot. And then through harmony and foundation. So you're giving the light, which has been mixed with knowledge. It's very dangerous. Harmony and foundation. And then it can be brought to Malkut, or manifestation, out of the kingdom, or what has been manifested. So what has been manifested without light needs to be brought light to, essentially. That's it. I got it. So I wrote, that which is fallen can be repaired or transmuted. So this is going back to January 2023. I was in COVID isolation in the hospital in my room. And I was having visions of Nazis and swastikas and how all of that can be brought to light. So there are certain things which are so dark they need to be destroyed completely. And then there are certain things that can be transmuted into light. So, for example, Joseph Mengele killed a bunch of twins in the Holocaust. Well, you can bring light to that, and it's going to look resolutionary. It's going to look like a resolution to some, and it's going to look horrible to others, but nonetheless, maybe we're lacking in some harmony here. But we can build up from foundation. We're going to build back up from Malkut into Keter. So we build up from Malkut. What has been manifested? Well, this man tortured and murdered child twins. Okay. But then we can visualize an actual angel of death, an angel in heaven saving the souls of the twins who were killed and bringing them to heaven in harmony. The truth will set you free. So more knowledge of what went on, which I don't have. I don't understand that yet, and I'll need to be high when I do. Probably. In some way or another. Maybe not on drugs, but I'll need to be high. The soul can be purified. If you go through Da'at in reverse, the soul is purified. That's another one. I don't know that, but I feel like I know that. And then brought back to Keter. But it's not like the opposite direction is a mirror image. It's not like unpurifying the soul. Going from Keter to Malkut, it's not a mirror image. If anything, it's like, and then So it's an opposite, but it's not. Does that make sense? I'm trying to get so much out, but anyway. Yeah. So there are certain aspects of reality which are so dark they need to be brought to light. How one goes about doing that without dying is another matter, but bravery is probably what needs to be focused on more than fear of death or destruction or anything else. You pick up things along the way when you're doing this kind of work that are difficult to shake, which are demonic in essence. And so it's very important to know what to ignore. You encounter a lot of insanity. And as such, you can't rationalize. You're picking up ancient ideas that were manifested in horrible ways rather recently. And there's no way to explain them. They originate in a time when reason wasn't ruler, for better and for worse. And they were manifested in a time when reason was coming to rule. For better and for worse. And there's absolutely no way to get under them with reason. They are the lack of reason's last gasp. This is dangerous stuff. It is what it is. I have to do it. I'm not going to try and reason that through. I just have to. So, don't combat lack of reason with reason. I have to do this. I don't know. Maybe some, I don't know. I have to. Maybe I was just talking to an angel right there. You see my head movements? Maybe I was just talking to an angel. I don't know. There's nothing going through my head. Maybe. I don't know. I've been known to talk to beings that are not physical. Say that to the right person, you're a sage. Say that to the wrong person, you're imprisoned. I'm not going to think about who's right and wrong. I'm going to think about the person who put me in a prison. Well, this is very interesting. I'm really enjoying this. Is there anything else here? A man must descend into darkness to bring light, restore what is tarnished, and destroy what cannot be redeemed. I'm ahead of myself. I'm undoubtedly ahead of myself. But I'm also preparing for my life's work, which, by all accounts, should begin at 30 years old, shouldn't it? So 23, just turned 23, maybe a little ahead of the curve, but preparing nonetheless, rather publicly. I don't know how many people are going to see that. Grounding. Today, on the calendar, I'm going to make sure that I get a 9 to 5 to support my missions. Why I have to do such a thing is a product of the system and a judgment upon the system, not on me. I look really cute in my pizza making uniform, so I don't think anybody's going to be complaining. Are they? Good. I mean, it's kind of cute. It's a cool looking uniform. It is. So yeah, I do, I do genuinely have to do that today. Yeah, it's a cool pizza place. It's called Blaze Pizza. You make your own pizza. They go in and they have all the toppings kind of laid out, and my job. Well, I've worked here before. And she said I'm probably welcome back, so I'm calling her later. My job is to make the dough, a little dough pressing machine. Or if it's an extra large pizza, to actually flip it. It's fun. It's so fun doing that. Catch it on your fist. And then kind of make the pizza, you put it on a platter or whatever, and you kind of scoop the stuff and sauce and cheese and all the good stuff. And we are allowed 1/2 pizza per shift, free of charge, as workers, which is pretty cool. I mean, I would appreciate a full pie, personally, but I get them, yeah. But bitter end, bottom line, bottom line. Yeah. So a man must descend into darkness to bring light, restore what is tarnished, and destroy what cannot be redeemed. So it's not all about bringing light. Well, you do bring light to it, but then if you see something so awful, that there's nothing to redeem there, then you destroy it. I think killing should be limited as much as possible. I think that less murderers should receive the death penalty. I think less murderers should receive life sentences. And there are certain crimes of moral turpitude, which I won't talk about openly at this point because of the social considerations. But you probably get what I'm talking about. I think more of those people should be killed. And I think that there's certain laws in place that are preventing us from seeing how awful some of those crimes are. And that might be counterintuitive to get rid of those laws. But I don't think we're there yet. Certainly not. But it is what it is. How's that? It is what it is. At this point, you probably see how annoyed I get when people are fucking stupid. This is what I'm thinking about. All of this that I just talked about. This is what I think about. This is everything comes back to. So, do you understand how fucking annoying it is when I go out and I see no kings? Do you understand how much of a challenge I take that as? But, like, I don't even care because it's so fucking stupid. Like, how retarded are you? I don't have fucking time for that. And that's on, like, the higher end. Because, like, I can, like, weave my way. I'm like, yeah, okay, whatever. But the people say stupid things. And it's like, who told you were equal? So, no, I don't believe that all men are created equal. I think that's fucking bullshit. It's ridiculous. That's a ridiculous statement. That is ridiculous. I'm supposed to believe that my grandfather is equal to a child murderer? Are you fucking kidding me? Go fuck yourselves. Fucking retards. My son kind of hurt there. I'm not hurt. Just fucking retarded. Oh, she's dead. Lay her down. Put her to sleep. I'm losing patience with people who are, like, upholding the system at this point. I have some patience because a lot of people just can't, like, see change. A lot of people can't see how quickly things have changed. But all social media now is tyranny. So when I see people like, well, I have to do this, guys, because the algorithm. I'm losing patience for that kind of thing. I guess I should just do, like, what I typically do now, which is, like, just ramble. The whole stories thing is too much of a box. I'm not just going to tell stories all the time. No, I'm probably going to tell a story. It's probably, like, Uno reverse intuition right there. I'm probably about to tell a story. Yeah, it's prideful and arrogant to sing Kumbaya and say we're all equal. I agree. That's very prideful and very arrogant. We're not all equal. It's ridiculous. We're not. You know who's equal? It's a great man. Is wonderful women. Doesn't like, I don't care how smart you are. It's like, if you're going to add that kind of beauty and joy and companionship and love to the world, then you're at the top. And if you're doing the best you can, even if it's like something small, or seemingly small, it's not small. Like, it doesn't matter. It doesn't, like, the amount of money you make doesn't matter. Well, I know where I'm going, but that I, for one, should know that. But if you're peddling some elite's idea of what you should be doing and what other people should be doing, and you're trying to, like, control other people. We can get into 1984 here. I have an interesting relationship with 1984. There are elements of truth in it that I really like. And there are elements of more like Orwell's personal beliefs that I strongly disagree with. There's a hierarchy. There just is, you know? So there's going to be a ruling class, and there are going to be middlemen, and there's going to be lower class. But everybody doesn't have to live in some form of tyranny forever. It's a ridiculous state. Why would he say that? It's ridiculous. Things don't have to be bad. So, I understand the book is kind of where we are right now. There's wars everywhere. People chanting about the wars. That's what it is. Okay, there are too many people who think they're part of the solution and they're part of the problem. Fix yourself. Fix your world. Add love. Add joy. You know what your No Kings protests are? They're a challenge to me. To be better and stronger and beat you all. You don't like power? Well, then I'll give you power. I'll show you power. I'll give you power and then I'll take it away from you. For fun. You're peons. I don't like you. I never said I liked the people you're protesting against, either. But you're peons, and you're part of the problem. Who gave him the right? God did. Fuck you. What was I don't know. Let's tell a funny story just to lighten the mood. Oh yeah. Wait, hang on. Did I tell this story? Did I tell this story? Was this on this? I think I told this story on Shabbat. I think this was the Shabbat video where I got slapped so hard. I was like, well, perhaps I'm not supposed to make a video on Shabbat then. Not the one from the first one I made. Like, I made one 2 days ago. And literally, I mean, like, my entire day fell apart after I made the video. And I'm like, I just had this horrible pain. Like, something's very wrong. Like, it should just not, this video should not be. But let me make sure, hang on. Because I don't want to tell the same story twice. Because what did I talk about? It was a science video, right? Yeah, hang on. It was... We talked about neurosurgery yesterday. But it wasn't about neurosurgery. I did something else. What did I do? Cloning? Was this the cloning video? Where I was like... That's so weird. I can't remember. Yeah, I think it was. So I'm just gonna tell it. If it was in one of the last videos, whatever. Alright. Lars, who's in the other room, sleeping. He got home at like 3 last night. I don't know why. I don't know what he's been up to. I had to eat. Ugh. But anyways, we go. It was, yeah, no, I'm pretty sure I haven't told this story. And you know what? Sometimes I like hearing the same story told over again, so whatever. We go over to, it was in the middle of, like, I was horribly depressed. Horribly depressed. This was November of 2022. I don't know how many names I should say and how many names I shouldn't. But I'm going to assume that the boys in the video would appreciate a mention, because they're cool. They're not part of the problem. So it was Johnny and Cullen? No, wait. It was Johnny? Caleb? Crap, I forget who the other guy was. Fuck. Anyways, they were over, and it was November. It was like mid-November 22. And yeah, it was Lars, Johnny, and... I think it was Caleb. Was it Cullen? It might have been Cullen. I'll say it's Cullen. It was Cullen. Sorry, Caleb, if it was you. But, it was like my first time out of the house in weeks, okay? I was in bed, basically, at that time. My hair down now. That was a great philosophy video. I should make more of these. So it's funny though, because Colin's like much more mature now. So I'm probably like, it's probably Colin, but he's like much more mature now. They were freshmen, I think, or sophomores. And like, hey, can you? I'll tell the whole story of this depression. This is a great one to tell. This is about bringing light to darkness, kinda. It's analogous in some way. Horribly depressed for months. The last memory I have before I like really fell into the depression, I was walking in the woods, and I laid down under a tree, because I was just like, I'm done. I'm out of gas. So I laid down under this tree, like way deep in the woods, and this flock of birds came in and landed above me. I forget what kind of birds they were, blackbirds or something, and pooped right here. Like right in my eye. And I'm like 30 minutes into the woods. That's like the last memory I have before it got really dark. And I wrote one song after that. It was like, Tell Me When My Life Will End. It was very dark. And then I didn't do anything for 2 months. And yeah, so these guys came over. Was it Colin or Caleb? Dude, this is... I can't fucking remember. It might have been Caleb. Shit. Let's just go with Colin. Colin turns me on more anyway. I'm not gay. I'm legitimately not gay. I just make a ton of gay jokes because it's fucking hilarious. But you have to be like friends. You have to be cool with the guy, and then you can make gay jokes. It's just fucking hilarious. It's just fucking hilarious. I don't know why. It's just the funniest kind of joke to make if you're close with a guy. It's a gay joke. So, anyways, they came over, and I'm cool with my brother's friends. It's good. It's a good place to be. And so they're like, hey, can you drive us? I won't say her name. That's a little too far. So say her sister's name. That's too close. I don't know. I have to come up with a good name for her. Yeah. We'll call her Life Alert. So, Life Alert. Life Alert generic last name. We drive over to Life Alert's house. And I drop them off. And suddenly I'm flooded with emotion. And depression for me doesn't look like a flood of emotion. It looks like no emotion at all. And it's fucking unbearable. I mean, I bear it, but I mean, it's horrible. So I'm like driving down. She lives like in Groton, near Cow Pond, and I drove up back down Hall Street, and I stopped at the pond at Massapog. I was just flooded with emotion, and I asked Safari for a breakup playlist because I was having these emotions about this girl who I'd long been in love with, who I was imprisoned in, which actually wound up sending me to prison, which is fucking hilarious. I mean, isn't that beautiful? And I had to, because I was in love with her since middle school. I met her, I was 11, she was 12. I fell in love with her instantly. And why I got sent to prison, I didn't do anything. Really, I really didn't fucking do anything. We'll go over that when I get canceled, and I'll be ready for it, and I'll fucking destroy her. But anyways, well, not destroy her. I'll destroy how do I say this? I'll destroy the idea that I did something heinous. Which I really didn't. I mean, that's not even the right word to bring into play. I didn't do anything wrong. It's a whole thing. It's a whole fucking thing. Alright? It's a whole thing. But anyways, I had feelings, and they were for her. And it was the most beautiful thing to me at the time, because I hadn't been having feelings. It was make me a breakup, longing playlist. And there was one song that was suggested that I really loved. Leonard Cohen, Take This Longing. By the way, the other part I wanted to touch on, I had to go through that and try and do something with that and actualize that love, which went obviously horribly wrong, but I had to do that to break free, and now I wear my shades and I wear a wedding ring and I talk about marrying multiple women. I had to go to prison and go through all that, and in order to emerge on the other side, I had to. I mean, I should have done it when I fell in love with her. when I was in middle school, but I didn't. So I had to do it the hard way. I guess I wanted that. I guess my soul wanted that. Anyway, yeah, no, that's true. Like, I'm not unhappy about it, and now probation's going great. I'm going to miss the judge. The judge, I hope, and I can be friends to some extent, or at least colleagues. Obviously, I don't want to say too much, but I would like to do what I can in certain realms. Say, within law. Yeah, there are plenty of problems I have with law. It's fine. But it has its place. I'm not looking to, like, I'm not an anarchist. I just think that certain things need to be different. And everyone else there has just been lovely too. Probation and even the I've even I know I said they should be investigated. I've even gotten along with the DA. It's just a lovely time. Really, like I couldn't imagine probation could be like this, but anyway. I'm not gonna screw up now. I've got 2 months left, so straight as an arrow. Yeah, I drove to the pond. It's called Massapog, and I listened to Take This Longing, and I just fell in love with having feelings again, and I wrote a song, and I really, really still love that song. I recorded it after I got home, like way later. Anyways, I go back, pick up Lars and Cullen, and I assume they'd appreciate a shout out. I'll take this down or like mute the sound if they don't want their names said. Cullen and Johnny. And I go back to their house. Now, my brother, Lars, I kind of shit on him sometimes, but like, he used to be kind of stupid. He's really smart now. He's like doing really well. So credit, because he's doing amazing things, and he clearly has a very bright future. He's a sophomore in high school. He's kind of fucking stupid. So he's like, I'm like, yo, I'm back. He's like, oh yeah, come in. And so I was like, oh, all right, cool. So I go into Life Alert's house. I was like, kind of like snooping around. I'm like, where the heck are they? I go into the basement, because like, well, maybe they're in the basement. Oh yeah, there's this other girl there who Lars was like in love with, and he didn't want to admit it, but he was in love with her. And we'll call her Claritin. It wasn't. If you're watching this, and you know Claritin, like who I'm referring to, it wasn't her, but I'm just saying Claritin because it comes to mind. So we got Life Alert and Claritin somewhere in the house, and all the boys somewhere too. Anyways, I found my way into the basement. I'm like, oh, dude, there's a bass guitar down here. So I start. I'm so sorry. See, he's probably gonna watch this for some reason. I'm so sorry. Genuinely, I'm sorry. I did not know how off limits that was. Played the bass. It was fun. So anyways, I'm like, where are these people? And I walk up the stairs, and Life Alert's at the top of the stairs. And she freaks the fuck out. She's not like uptight. I don't know how to explain it, but I felt really bad. She's like, what are you doing in here? Who are you? And so now I'm feeling like, oh shit. Okay, so I just look like some older guy who's just broken into her house. Like, fuck. I'm like, oh no, I'm here for Lars. She's like, what are you doing in here? I'm like, oh, I'm sorry, I thought you were in the basement. She's like, oh, well, don't play the bass. And I'm like, oh, all right. Be a good lawyer. Don't say anything about playing the bass. It's like, oh yeah, nah. Oh, yeah. So I wound up upstairs, quickly find out everyone is plastered. Everyone is fucking plastered. So, I do not supply alcohol to minors, so I had nothing to do with this. Wound up upstairs, and somebody's in bed with somebody else. Somebody's showering. Some guy's showering with some girl. Some guy's in bed with some girl, and it's just me and Life Alert. And I'm like, what's going on? So anyways, we like rallied the troops. And again, I'm still feeling bad because like Life Alert thinks I like broke into her house, kind of. It's probably like still on our mind. And we got the troops. We got everybody like. Colin and Johnny are like out of the house. Colin and Johnny are fighting over Life Alert. It might have been Caleb. No. There's no way Colin would have fought over Life Alert. I literally forget who the other guy was. So, was it Brody? I can't remember. Anyways. One kid and Johnny it was Caleb. It must have been Caleb. So we'll switch it. It's Caleb, not Colin. Caleb and Johnny are fighting over Life Alert. And it's the funniest fucking thing in the world. And we're like, where the fuck is Lars? Lars is like still in the house with Claritin, I guess. And he runs out. He's like drunk, like completely drunk. He's running at the car. I think he's up right now. You can probably hear me. He's running at the car. And essentially what happened was Lars is running at the car, and he goes, "Yo, Johnny, open the door." And Johnny yells, "I got you!" Flings the door open. Lars flies into the door. Bounces off off the door. And into the yard. And, hi Lars. And, it was legitimately the hardest I had laughed in months. Seeing your friends, because he's my friend. That's why I shit on him sometimes. Seeing your friends do stupid shit like that, there's nothing better as a guy. There's nothing better. It's the best. Doesn't matter how smart you are. It doesn't matter how astute you are. It's the best thing in the world, seeing your friends do stupid shit. There's a video of me on the golf course with my pants down taking a shot, and that's like my favorite video of me. It's hilarious stuff. Because the rule is, if you don't hit it past the women's box when you tee off, you have to pull down your pants and take the next shot in your underwear. That's the rule. And I completely whiffed on the shot, and it was hilarious. It's a hilarious video. Anyway, so that happened. So we got everybody in the car. We're driving home, and Johnny and this other kid, now I'm not even sure who, are still fighting over Claritin or Life Alert. Was it Life Alert or was it somebody else? I don't know. Anyways, they're fighting over this girl, and this continues. I go home. I drive them home, drop them off. Oh no, I had gone home and recorded the song before this. That's right, I did. I just went up to hang out with them. They fought until they fell asleep over this girl. But it turned into it wasn't over the girl. It was over someone's mom. And it was over like how ugly someone's mom was, and I remember somebody's mom getting called the Wither from Minecraft. Like it got very intense, and it was very intense. Anyways, things like went back to being depressed. I remember Thanksgiving. I was still very depressed, but I was kind of coming out of it, and I watched like every movie that had a Bowie song in it, so I got tired of The Office. But then after that, something happened. Lars had a bunch of friends over, and when I'm depressed, he invites me to hang out with his friends. Because I don't go and hang out with my friends. I mean, obviously over the past 2.5 years, it hasn't been a thing at all. But I just don't. So he invites me to hang out with his friends. I fucking love the kid. I shit on him too much. He's the best. I don't know, I got drunk with him, and I felt good. And sometimes things are aligned like that. And I wrote another song, and I started coming out of it. I started coming out of the depression. It was like early December, and music started sounding good. Okay. I enjoy not being depressed, but the feelings you get when you're coming out of one, like nothing beats them. Not the high. The high doesn't beat it. And Lars and I had a day together, and we like made chocolate covered strawberries. I think that was for a girl. Lars used to get all the girls, like all the girls. I don't know how he did it. It was very impressive, and it was for somebody's mom. I forget, but anyway, and we like drove around, and there was this song that hit. That's like somewhere in between sad and hopeful, which is where I was. David Bowie, Who Can I Be Now? It's a B-side from Young Americans. And I started walking again. It was December, but walking outside, walking in the woods. What else did we do that day? I don't know, we just had an amazing day. It's like the first good day. We explored this abandoned house, I might have mentioned. And we found a notebook from 1986, 1983, something like that. And we found the name of the person who used to live in this abandoned house. And we tried to bring it to town hall to figure out, like, who is this? We couldn't, but it was so fun. Listen to Zach Bryan, of course, because he loves Zach Bryan. I love Zach Bryan, thanks to him. But he went to Milwaukee to see him, went to Philly. Yeah, he loves Zach Bryan. I've been talking a while, my jaw's getting tired. Yeah, and I just kind of climbed out of it, and then suddenly, before I knew it, I was like writing a song every day, writing 2 songs a day. Got too high, and wrote 10 songs every day, but that's, But then something interesting happened where I was unable up to this point to really write a song. Everything would just sound off, I couldn't figure out if I was supposed to focus less on remembering the melody or more on remembering the melody. So I would either like have a different melody for each chorus, or I would spend like 15 minutes on each line getting the melody right, and it just wasn't working. And I went to New Year's, and I got into a fight, and it was just a bad scene. I got into a fight with a really, really great friend, and I wound up I went home, and I'm like, I couldn't get my wits about me, but I was like, I should probably just check myself into the hospital before this turns into something really bad. So I did. I called an ambulance. Don't do that. Just go to the ER if you can, because they're so expensive in this country. It's fucking insane. But I called an ambulance nonetheless. Not the last time I would do that. And I owe my parents like $100,000 when I make it. It's ridiculous. They'll get it. They will get it. And actually, I went to buy my dad like a church, like an old abandoned church, so we just set up camp in there. He says he's always talked about that. And I went to the hospital. I was like in the hospital. I was talking to God, and he said, I want to do this music thing. This is what I have to do. I've been unbearably addicted to music since I was 10 years old, when I first heard U2. And he said, as I talked to God, blow me, I'm not the only one. We're not all, we're not nuts. Bono, I want to throw Bono under the bus. I found that interview, you bitch. Yeah, God talks to you too. I know. Thought no one would say that in an interview? Think again. And, which is good. It makes me feel far less alone and far less nuts. And God said, well, I can cut you a deal. I'll give you everything you need for music. You have to spend 2 weeks in hell. I said, deal. Now, I was high, and God got me. 2 weeks, it's like biblical 2 weeks. It's like 40 days. Okay? I'm pretty sure I'm still in hell, or something, getting out of it. This was January 1st of 23. And, but after that, so first of all, after that, I wrote like 10 songs a day. But then I went home, and I made 11-8-11, which is a number I saw in the hospital. The clocks went out, and it was the middle of the night, and I was high, and I'm like, whew. So it was on the clocks. And I made that record, which actually, to be completely honest, on my music profile on Spotify and Apple Music, it says that's demos. That wasn't supposed to be demos. I was trying to make a legitimate record. I was just really embarrassed. I still kind of am, because it doesn't sound like anything all that good. But what was important was I was able to complete songs at ease. Not at ease, but something switched in my brain, and I could write a song. The first song I wrote for that record was 17. And I wrote that song, and I could like hear the melody. And I could get it down. I was like, okay, this is still a challenge, but I can get it. I can write the right melodies for the right sections, and I can remember them. I wasn't able to do that before. And I don't want you to think that, like, I cheated. I had worked like a dog to get to that point. And then there was the deal at the hospital. And then after that, everything sort of changed. There's stories about people selling their souls to the devil. I don't know. The only thing that had to do with the devil in that deal was I had to spend time in hell. But it was understood that there was a tether, that I wasn't alone, that God still had me. And this all goes back to bringing light to what is dark. This is what I do. This all revolves around the same kind of mission. Blow me, again, if you think that's a problem, to have a mission from God. I think that's a great thing. Thanks very much for your opinion. I didn't ask. So, like, it's like, Earth is not saved. We have to, good people who are capable have to save it, have to help save it. We're not the Messiah, not the Mashiach, but we're not Jesus, but we have to do our part, however great or small. So it all comes back to, we have to face darkness head on and defeat it and bring light to what is dark. That's a great place to end, but I don't feel like ending. Let's continue. What else can I talk about? Let's give it a minute. Let's give it a break. That was fun. That was so fun. That was a fun run. I'm going to pause and come back, and then we'll continue. All right. There's some food. Oh, so that's good. I don't really know what else to talk about, but I'll find something. How long is this video now? Because I didn't wind up having to take 2 clips because my headphones were plugged in. I wanted to make sure the audio was okay on the first one, so this is 1 hour and 40. That's cool. Manhunt. Manhunt is an underrated game. I forget exactly how it's played even, but I would like to bring it back. We used to play it a lot. I was like 14. It's really fun. It's better with girls because you feel like you're like holed up in a spot, and you feel like you have to protect the girls, and it's just like a good feeling to have. I don't know. I love that protective feeling. But yeah, it's fun at night in the woods. It's a blast. We're gonna focus on the positive. Because that was a heavy first hour. It was really, really heavy. So, fishing. Okay, I used to be a huge fisherman. I used to keep fish as well, so I was both friend and foe of the fish. I had a saltwater tank with a couple of clownfish, and I had a shrimp goby pair. So basically, they're these little pistol shrimp. They make little holes under the rocks, and then the goby, this little tiny fish, that will kind of keep watch and let the shrimp know what's up, if there's danger, while the shrimp kind of does housekeeping and builds more. It's really cool to watch. But I used to be a fisherman. I would fish freshwater locally, and we used to take trips to Cape Cod in the summers. And we would do saltwater fishing. My grandfather and my uncle were very into saltwater fishing, so total blast. My last real catch was a couple of summers ago. It was kingfish, which I've never seen them before. I've never seen them in indexes. But my uncle said it was called a kingfish. I'm like, what is this? It was kind of red. It was like barred stripes, reddish. I don't know. It's a cool fish. Bluefish, for some reason, I just attracted bluefish. I caught 1 striped bass when I went to the beach with my friend Cam and some other people. Senior week. Somebody had left a rod on the jetty, and there was a striped bass attached to it. So that was cool to finally hold a striped bass, because I've always wanted to. But my fishing days kind of ended in large part. I hooked a pickerel in the gills down at Salmon Brook. And I released it, and I watched it kind of perish. It just kind of struggled and died in front of me. That kind of turned me off of fishing. I'll fish again if I'm fishing to, eat fish. But for sport, I don't know. I'm not PETA, but I don't know. I don't hunt, really. This picture of me out there with a dead deer. I effectively killed that with my car. Very, very effectively. I was doing like 45, and yeah, that was rough. We used to catch frogs. It's fun. I don't know what to talk about. Talk about Friends again. I had these wonderful friends for a short time. They were like my brother's friends. They were like a little older than my brother. It was like a great kind of like bridge the gap friendship. I used to drive them around, and like we used to hang out over here. But there were two girls. What should I call them? We'll call them Christy and Carol. And then I think there's one girl who wouldn't mind her name mentioned. So her name was London, and she's wonderful. And yeah, I don't know, but I met them. How old was I? I was 18. I was 18, and they were 15, 16. So my excuse for not pursuing London was that she was too young, but really I think that was a cop-out. If there's any threat of casual sex, I put up my defenses. You can call me weird, I don't care. It's just who I am. I don't do casual hookups. But I don't know. I was kind of in love with her too. It's complicated. It's very complicated. What happened with them? We used to drive around and listen to the Police. It was sick. I don't know if they liked it at all, but I put on the Police. I hopefully put them onto the Police. But there was this song that always reminded me of London. Escapism. I just felt I could see her singing that. She was cool. I wonder where she is now. I had like steady friends through high school. And yeah. There were a bunch of girls. I had girls in 3 separate grades. My grade, the grade below, and at the end, the grade above. I think I already talked about some of them. We would always go over to Christy's sister's house. What should I call her? Oh, she doesn't mind. Allie. Hi, Allie, if you're watching. Hi. That was really cool. They had a really cool spot. It's right next to my friend Devin's house. I'm just talking. I don't know. This feels like the right thing to do, though, so I'm just gonna do it. Yeah, we used to go over there, and yeah, just hang out. we did some camp outs that were really fun. I started that. I was really young. I was like 10. I started that. Or 11. 11. I was 11. It was my 11th birthday party. We set up a tent out back. We were like little boys. And we all thought there was a fisher cat. So we like huddled in the middle of the tent. There's no way there was a fisher cat. It was hilarious. We were 10 feet from my back door. And then we got a little older. And we did campouts. My friend, I don't know if he wants his name mentioned, but he lives down that way. And he's like huge amounts of woods in his backyard, like enormous. It's like a forest. We would set up camp deep in the forest. That was fun. And yeah. I have so much stuff to talk about. It's just like I don't want to get into it all because the vibe has to be right, you know? Vibe check. I stopped TikTok too. I posted my last TikTok this morning. I don't know, done with it. I'm done with all of that. I don't know how it's gonna happen, but like it's gonna happen, so I don't know. Established acts don't understand how awful it is to have an Instagram or a TikTok. It's awful. It's a horrible thing. The only people who really, like, on their own make it in that realm are like, they're a different breed. I don't understand them. There's too much bullshit. Like, bullshit seems to be all that makes it in that realm anymore. I'm gonna talk about Cam and Kobe. So we all kind of like went on a journey together to like learn more about God. And that was like really beneficial. It was right before I stopped talking to everybody. And we learned so much. We tried orthodoxy for a while. Like really got into it. I don't know what happened. Well, I said, right, like, it was 2023, it's early, right after the album came out. I was like, well, this really isn't that good. So, I'm gonna take, like, 6 months off. And, I did. I just kind of went the orthodoxy route. I wanted Judaism, but the synagogue, like, turned me away. So I was like, oh, shit, okay. So I tried orthodoxy. And, because, you know, I wanted, like, the true faith or whatever. But I learned so much. I still love Seraphim Rose. He was a great Orthodox person, monk. I learned a lot from him. I have a piece of his robe. Actually, it was given to me by the church. The church had, like, pieces of his robe, so they gave me a piece of his robe. Yeah, I loved the church, and I loved the people, but at the end of the day, I guess I just wanted more, and I didn't want to live a simple life, and Orthodoxy kind of demanded a simple life, kind of. Seemed like it anyway. And so I left. And you know, God was talking to me the whole time, and I continued to talk to me after. And eventually I'm like, oh, you know what? You know what this sounds like? It sounds like a lot of people in the Old Testament who God talked to. That's what this sounds like. So essentially, this is Judaism. Essentially. So that's where it's settled. And I feel like I should tell more Lars stories. Do I have any more Lars? I must have more Lars stories. And then I don't know if I'll end this. But, oh. More Lars stories. Talk about. It's gonna get this personal. I don't want to use her name. But one of the girls prior mentioned, who I don't know where she is now. I'd love to. I remember one night she was lying on the floor, and I got her a blanket and some water. And I thought, well, that's about as close as I'd like to get to falling in love with her completely. So, I don't know. I feel like this isn't the video to talk about that kind of thing, but I don't know, I'll give it up. I don't know. I think the timing is really important. And like, if you know the timing isn't right, then you shouldn't go through with the thing. But if the timing's right, then you should go through with the thing, no matter what the end is. I really enjoy making these. I think the next one will be on psychology. I'll do like some depth psychology, Carl Jung stuff. That'll be fun. I love Carl Jung. Yeah. Alright. We should have a climactic ending. This is a climactic video, so we'll have a climactic ending. I just gotta come up with it. One time we were all over at the Duke of York's house, and had a bit too much to drink. Sorry, I could tell like 5 different stories with that start. I have to figure out which one. Oh, we went to Cam's house. That's right. With that crew. With Ainsley and them. Let's get on his ring. Did anything happen that night? I told a good joke. Like, good enough joke that I remember the laughter that came from it. That was a good one. I remember graduation week. Grasping at straws. Or graduation week, we went to Six Flags. Oh yeah, I saved a duck. Like the week before graduation week, I was driving down on Hall Street. There was a duck with a broken wing, and I spent about an hour chasing it up and down the stream. I finally wrangled it and got it into my car. I drove it to some woman in like Sudbury, who said she would take care of it. And graduation week, got totally stoned at Cam's, and we went to school because we were going to Six Flags. I got the call that the duck was okay at Six Flags, or on the trip to Six Flags. And I remember, but that day was interesting. I do remember we went to Six Flags, and then I went on a roller coaster and I got like sick. And because I have like an ear condition, like a vestibular condition, very sensitive to that kind of thing. And I remember sitting in the bus and thinking, like, this is like probably the last time we're going to see some of these people. It's bizarre. I think I was correct. And it's so weird to think about 5 years on. It's so weird. And I remember that clear as day and all of the emotions that went into it. Wow. Wow. I talked to people I'd never talked to. And that was like the last time I spoke to them. It's like the first time was the last time. It's so strange. And then that night I went back to Cam's house. And I listened to Robert Smith play with David Bowie. It was one of Bowie's tracks from Earthling. It's like the last thing you should do or something. And then they played Quicksand by David Bowie, which became huge for me that summer. Quicksand by David Bowie was a fantastic song. And then I threw the biggest party of the year with my parents upstairs in bed. I told them it was going to be like 30, 40 people. I had the fucking gas station attendant showed up to my party. It was off the walls. The house was packed and the backyard was jumping, and it was a huge party. People were throwing up in my bushes, and Lars and his friend were going into freshman year, and they went downstairs like, sick, and somebody probably had sex in my bedroom. I don't know what happened. It was a wild party. And the girls put Cam to bed because they loved Baby and Cam. And he was like, "No, I'm fine. I'll come downstairs." And they were like, "No, you gotta go to bed, sweetie." It was adorable. It was the craziest party. And then my dad was like, "There are too many fucking people here. The cops are gonna come." And I'm like kind of drunk, and so I'm trying to like get 60 people out of my house so that like 20 can stay and sleep. And I managed to do it. And like, I just broke down in tears for like no apparent reason. It was just like complete overwhelm. Broke down in tears. But then it was fine. I was fine. I don't like, it's just like drunk and overwhelmed. And probably sad too, just to see everyone leave. I mean, that was probably the last night I saw a lot of those people. That's probably why on a deeper level. And then, yeah, I had a great night with Kobe. We watched Kurzgesagt. You know, like the animated birds videos. It's fun. And then, what happened? Oh yeah, and then these two kids who were always cool, that like I didn't really talk to them, Logan and Will, came back the next morning and cleaned up my house for me. So you guys are legends for that. That's fucking sick. I don't know. This is an interesting dichotomy, the philosophy and then storytelling. More so than science and storytelling. It's weird, it feels uncomfortable, but that's good. So, yeah, I'll end it here. And, yeah, that's it.